Hey folks, happy almost Memorial Day. In celebration, we're going to read this book called Memorial Day by Trudy Strain Truitt, illustrated by Ronnie Rooney. Chapter 1, Some Gave All. Row after row of small U.S. flags stretch across a cemetery. Each one stands next to the grave of an American soldier. People walk quietly among the flags. Some stop to lay flowers on the gravestones. Today is the last Monday in May. It is Memorial Day in the United States. A memorial is a lasting tribute. It helps us to remember an important person, group, or event in history. Memorial Day was created to honor the brave people who were killed fighting in U.S. wars. It is the nation's promise that those who died in the line of duty will never be forgotten. People visit cemeteries on Memorial Day. The United States and the freedom for which it stands, the freedom for which they died, must endure and prosper. Their lives remind us that freedom is not bought cheaply. It has a cost. It imposes a burden. Ronald Reagan, 1911 to 2004, Memorial Day speech, 1982. Chapter 2, A Nation Divided. In the mid-1800s, slavery was tearing the United States apart. Southern states felt slavery should be legal. The North disagreed. Many states in the South went so far as to form a new country called the Confederate States of America. This led to the Civil War from 1861 to 1865. Friends and family from different parts of the United States often found themselves on opposite sides of the war. Sometimes they had to fight each other, brother against brother, father against son. In these sad times, women in the South began decorating the graves of Southern Confederate soldiers with flowers. They decorated the graves of Northern Union soldiers too. In 1865, the North finally won the war. The United States remained a single nation. Even so, it was hard for those in the North to celebrate. More than 600,000 soldiers had been killed. Never before or since have so many Americans died in one war. Many soldiers were killed in battle during the U.S. Civil War. Union soldiers were from the North. They wore blue uniforms. Confederate soldiers were from the South. They wore gray uniforms. What a cruel thing is war, to separate and destroy families and friends and mar the purest joys and happiness God has granted us in this world, to fill our hearts with hatred instead of love for our neighbors, and to devastate the fair face of this beautiful world. Robert E. Lee, 1807 to 1870, Confederate General. Chapter 3, Decoration Day. After the Civil War, Americans looked for a special way to honor their fallen heroes. Military leaders remembered how Southern women had decorated the graves of soldiers on both sides. In the spring of 1868, Union General John Alexander Logan declared that each May 30th would be a day to remember those who had died in the Civil War. He called it Decoration Day. The first national celebration was held at Arlington National Cemetery in Virginia. Arlington is a military cemetery near Washington, D.C. President Abraham Lincoln wanted the nation to remember those who had lost their lives in the Civil War. That we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation under God shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. Abraham Lincoln, 1809 to 1865, Gettysburg Address, 1863. On November 19, 1863, President Abraham Lincoln gave a speech at Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. He was there as a part of dedication to the new Soldiers' Cemetery. The cemetery honored those who had died in Civil War battles there that summer. Today, the place is called Gettysburg National Cemetery. Both the cemetery and Lincoln's speech are now famous tributes to the fallen soldiers. People placed flowers on the graves of thousands of Union and Confederate soldiers. They gave speeches and sang patriotic songs. By the 1890s, Decoration Day was more commonly known as Memorial Day. After the Civil War, people began decorating soldiers' graves with flowers. The 30th of May, 1868 is designated for the purpose of strewing with flowers or otherwise decorating the graves of comrades who died in defense of their country during the late rebellion and whose bodies now lie in almost every city, village, and hamlet, churchyard in the land. John A. Logan, 1826 to 1886. Chapter 4, Flowers for the Fallen. During World War I, 1914 to 1918, thousands of U.S. soldiers died on the battlefields of Europe. Often, the first wildflowers to sprout on a field after battle were poppies. These bright red flowers soon became a symbol for fallen soldiers. In 1918, a teacher from Georgia named Moyna Michael read a poem about the poppy fields. She decided to wear a silk poppy on Memorial Day to pay tribute to Americans killed in the war. Moyna began making and selling poppies. She donated the money to veterans groups. After World War I, Memorial Day was expanded to honor all Americans in the armed forces who died in wartime. In 1971, the United States Congress made Memorial Day a national holiday. It was moved to the last Monday in May. Wearing a poppy on Memorial Day shows respect for the armed forces. Over time, Moyna Michael's poppy sales raised more than $200 million for veterans groups in the United States and England. In 1948, the U.S. Post Office honored her by putting her portrait on a stamp. Chapter 5, Celebrating Memorial Day. Many Americans visit a cemetery or war monument on Memorial Day. They may attend a ceremony where veterans speak, a band plays, and the military fires a 21-gun salute. Boom! Each year, thousands of people travel to Arlington National Cemetery. They listen to the President of the United States give a speech. The President also lays a wreath at the Tomb of the Unknowns. The Tomb of the Unknowns holds the remains of several unidentified American soldiers from different wars. They represent all Americans who died for their country. A soldier always guards the tomb, always. In 2000, the U.S. Congress created a National Monument of Remembrance on Memorial Day. At 3 p.m. on the holiday, Americans are asked to stop what they are doing to remember the nation's fallen soldiers. In this moment of silence, what will you think about? The Tomb of the Unknowns is guarded all day and night, all year round. On Memorial Day, every ship in the U.S. Navy and all naval stations fire a 21-gun salute at noon. They defended our nation, they liberated the oppressed, they served the cause of peace. And all Americans who have known the loss and sadness of war, whether recently or long ago, can know this. The person they love and miss is honored and remembered by the United States of America. George W. Bush, 1946 to present. Memorial Day Address, 2004. Chapter 6, Stars and Stripes Forever. The U.S. flag is an important part of Memorial Day. It is a tradition to lower the flag to half-staff until noon on the holiday as a sign of respect. People wave flags during Memorial Day parades, speeches, and concerts. Scout troops, military groups, and citizens place small flags on the graves of American soldiers. Did you know that there are more than 300,000 military graves at Arlington National Cemetery? Each one gets its own flag. It's a custom called Flags In. Soldiers from the 3rd U.S. Infantry place the flags in the ground. They keep a 24-hour watch during the weekend before Memorial Day to make sure none of the flags fall. Why do they do this? Because throughout history, more than 1 million men and women have died protecting the freedoms, land, and people for which the U.S. flag stands. The colors of the United States flag. White stands for purity and innocence. Red stands for valor and hardiness. Blue stands for vigilance, perseverance, and justice. The 3rd U.S. Infantry is also known as the Old Guard, and for good reason. It's the oldest active duty unit in the Army. The Old Guard got its start back in 1784. I only regret that I have but one life to lose for my country. Nathan Hale, 1755 to 1776, American patriot. Chapter 7, Poetry Corner, The Blue and the Gray. By the flow of the inland river, whence the fleets of iron have fled, where the blades of grass of the grave grass quiver, asleep on the ranks of the dead. Under the sod and the dew, waiting the judgment day, under the one the blue, under the other the gray. Francis Miles Finch, 1827 to 1907. To preserve the peace, we must never forget the sacrifices that have paved the way to peace. Bill Clinton, Memorial Day Address, 2000. In Flanders Fields. In Flanders fields the poppies blow, between the crosses row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky, the larks still bravely singing fly. Scarce heard amid the guns below, we are the dead. Short days ago, we lived, fell down, saw sunset glow. Loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders Fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe. To you from failing hands we throw. The torch be yours and hold it high. If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders Fields. John McCrae, 1872 to 1918, Canadian doctor. The poem In Flanders Fields remembers those soldiers who died in World War I. Moyna Michaels' idea for silk poppies came from the poppies mentioned in this poem. We shall keep the faith. Oh, you who sleep in Flanders Fields, sleep sweet to rise anew. We caught the torch you threw, and holding high we keep the faith with all who died. We cherish too the poppy red that grows on fields where valor led. It seems to signal to the skies that blood of heroes never dies, but lends a luster to the red of the flowers that blooms above the dead in Flanders Fields. Moyna Michaels, 1869 to 1944. Songs of Memorial Day. Battle Hymn of the Republic. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. He is trampling out the vintage where the grapes of wrath are stored. He hath loosed the fateful lightning of his terrible swift sword. His truth is marching on. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. His truth is marching on. Words by Julia Ward Howe, 1819 to 1910. The Battle Hymn of the Republic is often sung on Memorial Day. Julia Ward Howe wrote the words to the song while visiting the Capitol during the Civil War. Taps. Fading light dims the sight, and a star gems the sky, gleaming bright. From afar, drawing nigh, falls the night. Day is done, gone the sun, from the lake, from the hills, from the sky. All is well, safely rest, God is nigh. Words and music by Major General Daniel Butterfield, 1831 to 1901. Taps is usually played on a bugle or trumpet. It is the traditional music used at funerals honoring soldiers. Star-Spangled Banner. Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Words by Francis Scott Key, 1779 to 1843. Francis Scott Key wrote the words to the Star-Spangled Banner in 1814. The poem celebrated American victory over the British in the War of 1812. It did not become the national anthem until 1931. Joining in the spirit of Memorial Day. Do you have any relatives or ancestors who died in the line of duty? If so, interview family members and search through scrapbooks and photo albums to find out more about these people. Visit a cemetery where soldiers are buried. Look for graves that have not been decorated. Place flowers or flags next to them to pay your respects. Do you have a parent or a grandparent that's a veteran? Ask them about their wartime experiences. How do they celebrate the holiday? Spend Memorial Day visiting a local or national war monument. Learn about the war it represents and the people who gave their lives in battle. On Memorial Day, remember to pause for a moment of silence at 3 p.m. to honor fallen soldiers. Attend a Memorial Day service, parade, or concert. Wear a poppy and get your friends to wear one too. And here's some activities. So I'll just hold up the page to the screen in case you'd like to do some of these. You could probably screenshot this video and you can do these activities on Memorial Day. So the first one is making a patriotic float. So as you see here in the picture, that's what they're enjoying there, nice red, white, and blue float. So if you wanna just pause the screen and screenshot it, you can make these at home. And the second one is making poppies to wear. So there she is making her poppies in the corner. And again, if you just hit pause on this video and then screenshot it, you can make these for yourself. Words to know. Half-staff, the point halfway up a flagpole. Monument, a statue or building or site that pays tribute to a person, group, or events. Patriotic, showing love for one's country. Slavery, a system where people are forced to work for others. Symbol, an object that stands for an idea. Tradition, a long-held custom. 21-gun salute, a military honor where 21 shots are fired from a rifle, cannon, or other firearm. Veterans, people who have served in the armed forces. And then I'll hold up this page as well. These are more resources that you can check out to learn more about Memorial Day. So again, if you want to screenshot these and look them up here at the library or online, you can learn a little bit more. And that's the end of the story. I hope you all enjoyed this reading and you learned something new that you didn't know about Memorial Day, and that after watching this video, you'll be prepared to celebrate on Monday. Thank you deeply to all of the veterans in our community and abroad who have served our country. And of course, we will be remembering and honoring those who lost their lives in the service on Monday, this Memorial Day. Thank you again for watching and have a good day.